a double take. Right, the rods are out, we're back out fishing, and I'm back in Oxford, and what a difference 5 weeks has made. Everything's much greener, it's much warmer, and from what I've seen in the last couple of hours, there's a fair few fish out there, so it's looking good for a bite or two. Now, I have dropped onto a day ticket, and the plan is to do 48 hours on Kingfisher Lake before heading over to the Syndicate for the remainder of the session. Now, what I've decided to do is to fish very short because that's where I'm seeing the fish, and I have found a raised area out there which is just over 7 wraps, so I've just put all 3 rods on that with a big scattering of bug and SLK boilie over the top. Now, there are some crayfish present in the lake which may become a little bit of a problem, so to combat that I have went in with some bug and SLK in the hard hookers, tipped off with a little bit of plastic, and if that doesn't work we might just have to go to plastic only hook baits, but we'll see how things go for now. I have had a few liners, there's fish showing over the spot, so hopefully it won't be too long before we get our first bite. Well, good morning. So last night I managed to get off the mark with what was probably around low double, and I just had another take this morning. Now we're probably only about an hour into first light. It's currently sat in the net, and I was a little bit lazy last night. I didn't put that rod back out there, so I've now got 2 rods to redo, and I'll probably freshen up that middle rod that's still sat out there. So we'll get this one out and have a look and see what we've got. Well, how about that for a Kingfisher carp? 17.5 this one, which is certainly a little bit bigger than the one we had last night, but I made up with this one. Proper looking carp, that one. Gonna have a quick look at the other side of this one before we get him back. Right, well, a couple of fish to get off the mark with, and I'm happy with that, especially that last fish. It was a really nice one. Now, since I've put that one back, I have redone all 3 rods, put the kettle on to have the first coffee off the morning, and I have had a little bit of a liner on that right hand rod already. Now, the weather today has to be quite warm. The sun's going to be out for most of the day, so I'm going to keep an eye on the margins, because whenever I got here yesterday there was a lot of fish just cruising past their rod tips. So if they do that today, I'll definitely be putting a rig or 2 in the edge and try and nick one that way. But for now, I'm going to finish this coffee, watch the water for a little bit, and hopefully it'll not be too long before we'll have another one of these Kingfisher carp to show you. I pulled the rods in, I'm just on my way back to the bivvy because there's a swim up in this corner. It's just the next swim to me, and I've seen a couple very close in the margins. I say margin, it's 6 foot from the bank, from the peg. I've seen about 4 or 5 fish just come in and out. There is a couple of fish that further out, but I put maybe, I don't know, a handful and a half of bait out, just 12 millers. But I'll leave it for half an hour and come back and have a look to see if they've had any. I'm going to go straight down the opposite end to check that snaggy corner I was talking about earlier on. One, two, three, four fish just here. Probably not going to pick up the camera, but it's just under these branches just here. It's came past, and there's 3 out there. Right, I'm just stood in the swim, and where I was stood a moment ago where I'd seen those fish was just over in this corner. Now that I came around the swim, I can see a few more just out in the middle, but usually when you come in here, if there's fish here, there's a lot of them, which makes me think that there could be a big group of fish somewhere else, or they're just spread out around the lake. Now I have dropped that bit of bait up in the opposite corner, which on my way around I'll check again, because if there's fish dropping down on that, it may be worth just dropping a rig in amongst them for half an hour. I did give that top corner a good hour earlier on, had a couple of fish feeding right on top of me, but they did push out and they never really came back. So I headed back to swim, packed everything up, and as you can see I've moved and I came down to that snaggy bay where I'd seen a few fish out here earlier on, and got all 3 rods out, and within 10 minutes the first rod was away. Bundled that one into the net, redone the rod quickly, and it went off straight away. So I've now got 2 fish in the net to deal with. So we'll get these out and see what we've got. Right, how about that for another Kingfisher carp? This is the first of the 2 we just had, the other one still sat in the net. This one's probably around mid-dubba, but I'm going to get a quick photo of this one, get the next one out because it is a little bit bigger. There we go then. He's definitely not as big as what I thought he was going to be. He's probably a little bit bigger than the last, but not by much. But I'm going to get this one straight back, get the rods redone, another bit of bait over the top, and hopefully there'll be a few more to come. Well, the plan was to sit down and give you a little bit of an update, because after moving into the swim we had 2 fish straight away, and not long after putting them back I got a phone call from my dad, who's just on the lake next door. He had a good one at 33, so I've literally just been to do photo duties for that, and I just got back and I put 2 rods out and one's gone already. Just found a bit of weed or something there. Hopefully we can get him moving again. Come on. I don't know if that's moving or not. Yep, there we go. And with a double take, just tighten that clutch up because there's not really much I can do, and just hope it doesn't go too far. I'm gonna have to pick that up. Well, this is a first. Right, I'm gonna have to put one of these down. Right, that's one. Oh, it's came off this one. Well, they are slowly getting bigger, and this one's went 18.5, and again another cracking fish. I've already got 2 rods back out there, just need to get a bit of bait over the spot, and I reckon there's another bite or 2 to come yet. Well, good morning. So last night I managed to pick off another couple of bites, and the first one was around low double, but the second one I did lose due to getting cut off. Now the lake I'm fishing can be quite snaggy in places, and it's like a proper egg box out there. I could feel my line grating through something, and eventually it just parted, and there really wasn't much I could do about it. But I reckon it's probably getting on for about 7 o'clock at the minute. I've pulled both rods in, just going to freshen things up. Get 2 rods straight back out over that margin, and another scatter and a boilie over the top. Right, that's 1 rod out already, just putting the second one out. Hopefully it goes out the first time, then we can get a bit of bait over the top. Happy days. This is the biggest of the session so far, just a little over 23 this one. And again, it's another clean Kingfisher carp. Going to spin him around quickly, have a look at the other side. And there we go. It's been a good 48 hours on Kingfisher. I have about an hour left and I'll be heading over to the syndicate. But what's this? I think this is fish number 7. Right, a couple of quick photos, get it straight back, and then I'll see you over on the syndicate. And one last look before we let him go. Thank you.